Welcome to the Atlantic Indie Roundabout here at CIOE 97.5 FM. I'm your host, Maurice O'Coin, and we are streaming live to the world at www.communityradio.ca. We are going to discuss and celebrate independent artists' music from all over the Atlantic region and beyond. Let's all get on the Atlantic Indie Roundabout right now. Well, here I am in the roundabout, and my guests today are Rocky and Isaac Kent from the band Dali Van Gogh.
Hello.
Great to have you guys here today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
I've been waiting to get you guys in here for quite a while, since the show started, even when I was online. And it's nice to have a good prog rock. Do you guys mind being called prog rock? I mean, honestly?
No, it's funny. My brother calls us that as well. That I've never thought about it that way, but apparently that's a good label for us.
I wouldn't call you metal. Certainly don't call you metal.
Yeah, I agree.
I think prog rock is, I mean, it's an old term.
It comes in with
generalizes.
a lot of good bands and like Rush and which is one of our, favorites, of course. And, yeah.
I mean, you guys sound, no, I think you guys even sound more contemporary than Rush. You guys have a very modern sound. You have a very good visual presence when you play live. And of course, your videos are stunning. You spare no expense and no artistic endeavor to get those done. And you got, how many videos do you guys have out now on YouTube?
Yeah, I was just counting a minute ago. We have number 12 just came out recently.
Mm-hmm.
And we got another one on the way, which actually this is, I guess you get the scoop first. So September 30th, we'll be dropping a new single.
Well, fabulous.
With the video, yeah.
Yeah.
Your show is visual. Your videos are visual. There's a lot of art in your music. It's not thrown together. It's well crafted. Your shows are tight. Your musicianship is top notch. Your vocals are solid. And like I said, you guys are working very hard, and you have been making waves, and people do notice that. Let's go back to the beginning of Dali Van Gogh. How did it start? I presume, Isaac, you're the genius or the madman behind it.
I was going to say the lunatic.
Yeah, it's just a thin line there, I'm sure. But why don't you give us the story and how it got you to where you are today? Yeah,
the funniest thing is it started with the two people you got right here. I mean, I picked up guitar when I was 17, so that's, 2007. And not because I wanted to be a guitar player per se. I'd already played saxophone for like 7 years, but it was because I wanted to be in a band. And whoever would play with me, and it didn't matter the quality or stuff, I just wanted to be playing. And so one of those early projects was called 8 Days to Saturday, which was with Rochelle.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a pop rock, pop folk thing.
I have no idea what it was,
which was great, but it was around that time that I started writing what would become a lot of the Dali material, including Heavy Living. Sober was written around that time. I had a 2-track recorder, and we cut like a live off the floor demo EP that I still got kicked around on my computer. If anyone ever wants to hear it. Sounds like trash, but it exists. That's a very important thing, to keep those early recordings. I would presume that some of those songs have essentially stayed in your set list to this day. Certainly. I mean, Heavy Living has been the song that's just kind of stayed with us forever. In Dali Van Gogh, when somebody leaves and you bring somebody in and it sends the band in a new trajectory, do you notice the continuity has changed over the years, or do the songs still hold the same? Like, do they sound like a collective? No, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. When someone new comes in, and it's happened consistently, it always kind of renews everybody's drive, because suddenly you've got this, person who's coming in is all gung-ho and hasn't been slogging away with you guys. Songs always evolve. I've got songs that even considerable hits of ours, very popular songs with fans, that I don't really play the same way anymore, if for no other reason than I get bored of it. Mm-hmm. And so some of them resemble it, some of them don't. The very oldest stuff has evolved a lot. Heavy Living doesn't really sound a lot like the original version. It's recognizable, like the melodies are there, and the arrangement's still similar, but the song has changed a lot. It's we've matured as musicians. And that's been the other thing, is that we've been lucky enough that with these changing band members over, overall it's like 14 years, right? So I've grown up as a songwriter, and I've been smart enough to start vetting who we bring into the band more thoroughly.
Mm-hmm. Some people it's fun, it's a hobby, it's something you do on the side, and that's great. Mm-hmm. But what we want to do is we genuinely want to make a living out of this any way that we can. So we need to be working with people who are like-minded as well, and their priorities aren't lying elsewhere.
I'd like to hear some more of your music, so we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back to Dali Van Gogh, and we'll come right back with you guys in a few minutes.
Model star, she's a liar and a thief. Jupiter. Yeah, he's a big shot, don't you think? But it's all over now, it's all over now. Yeah, it's all over now, it's all over, isn't it? He's the enemy in name and tome undone. But it's all over now, it's all over now. Yeah, it's all over now, it's all over, isn't it? Quite blue
We'll be right back with the Atlantic Indie Roundabout here on CIOE 97.5 FM.
Constitute food. Several days in when fresh water starts to go, they like to swim in their own shit, over facing the glow. Someone's scavenging, get what you can get. Breathing the smog in, collecting their bets.
Welcome back to our discussion with Dali Van Gogh here at the Atlantic Indie Roundabout. So yeah, you were just mentioning about the pandemic, how it stopped you in your tracks. It stopped a lot of people in their tracks. How did you keep the momentum going while the pandemic was in full bloom?
We couldn't get together to jam, so instead we would have conference calls with each other instead.
Twice a week.
Yeah, twice a week. So in lieu of band practice, we got together and chatted and, decided what are we working on, that kind of thing. We couldn't play gigs. So what we did individually from our own homes is we all took turns live streaming once a week. So one week it would be me sitting at a piano playing and singing. The next week it would be Isaac playing some guitar, that kind of thing, just to keep putting content out.
You got to pivot. That was the word. Did you guys do any actual, as a band, did you try any of those live stream concerts like some bands have tried during the pandemic?
Yeah, we did one. This was during when things weren't completely shut down and we were able to move around a little bit.
Actually see each other.
Yeah.
For a while we couldn't.
We went up to SSI outside of Moncton.
That's what I was bringing up. That they've been great with this.
They've been superb at kind of keeping live music right across America alive. So I went up there, did a live stream, was fantastic.
Just before Halloween last year.
Yeah, I cannot say enough good things about those guys.
All the ones that I've seen those guys do, I mean, they're top notch. I mean, they rival CBC,
Oh, it was unbelievable. The production quality was second to none.
Absolutely.
It was really fun.
Pyro and everything and the beautiful lighting and
Yep. And not just that. I mean, they treated us incredibly well. We had a big green room with a fridge and drinks and space for us to get changed. They were super, super, super safe. Like the whole production team were in masks. Even the close-ups, they were more than 6 feet away. We had like an escort between the green room and the main room, and it was a fantastic experience. The whole band, at the behest of our sound guy, give a shout out to Zach Lacey, he's fantastic, unbelievable. But Zach came in with all these ideas of he transitioned us. We're all on in-ear monitors now, so now we're not hauling monitors. He encouraged us to go ampless, so we got no amps on stage at all. I'm direct. We got the keytar's direct. Bass is going through a Sans amp. The only the biggest thing that we haul around now is Johnny's bloody drum kit. I'm trying to convince him to go to just a little pad, and we'll just get on with our lives.
You just can't go too far now.
We'll replace him with a drum machine.
No, it's fine.
Zach's full time our sound tech. We got him on a contract and everything, and
it's fantastic that the biggest thing we have to haul is the drum kit. It's amazing. God. I can take all my stuff in one trip.
It's such a different world than it was even just before the pandemic. We went from having 3 or 4 carloads of stuff. There's 4 of us. The singer sometimes got 2 monitors, so we all haul in monitors, full PA system, guitar amps, bass amps, something for the keyboard.
Keyboard stand.
To now, I'm walking in with a briefcase and my guitar, and that's it. And it's fantastic.
And I have a piano case that's very light now because it has a keytar in it instead of a keyboard.
The big keyboard, yep.
Which then I can fit anything else in there. So I just have that and then my pedal board.
Yep.
Done.
Yep, easy.
Gear has come a long way in the last few years, and you guys reap the rewards in that.
Brewing Company present Dali Van Gogh.
Like a little rag doll. On the first try, you don't listen to the cat call. I feel the kind of drunk, so you make me wanna stay. It's feeling deep inside and ain't going away. You want compromise, but baby, you could have it all. Feeling like a bitch, but you're trying to keep it cool on. Your legs are feeling stiff, but you're trying to get your groove on. gotta get the groove. Hey, pretty girl, you got nothing to lose. You wanna compromise, but baby, you could have it all. Well, don't you realize that, baby, you could have it all. Whoa, you could have it all. Baby, you could have it all. Yeah, you could have it all. The lights are coming down, everybody's going home. I can tell you're still afraid that you cannot be alone. Shake it by the hand, girl, it's gonna be alright. You'll be sleeping in, this will be up all night. You wanna compromise, but baby, we could have it all. Whoa, you could have it all.
You are listening to the Atlantic Indie Roundabout with me, your host, Maurice O'Coin. We're back here in the roundabout with Dali Van Gogh and having a fascinating conversation about the history of the band and leading up to now as well. Let's go on to your videos. Your videos are very, very dynamic. Have you used a lot of different people to produce your videos? Do you have a small circle of producers?
No, it's
what's your mindset?
We're big on kind of continuing with the same people for the most part. We worked with Andrew Hartland for a number of years.
Yeah, he's my son-in-law. He did a great job with Boneyard.
He did a great job with a whole bunch of our videos. I mean, you go Boneyard, you rewind the 5 videos that came up before that. That's all Andrew as well. He did a spectacular job. Prior to the other videos that you see on there are largely self-produced. So all the lyric videos and the animated ones, I've done all of that on my computer. My computer's decided it wants to hate me, and usually there's smoke coming out of it by the end.
And a lot of that came because of the pandemic. Anytime we tried to schedule a shoot, got canceled, or where we couldn't have other people in it. So those ideas didn't work out. So that's where we came up with, let's do some animation, let's do more lyric videos, that kind of thing.
Your location shots are interesting. I noticed when you did Boneyard, you did that up the old radar base up at in Beaverbank there, and there's been a lot of videos and pictures taken up there. But it never gets old, And the graffiti changes on the buildings, and you guys managed to find your way inside that building. I've never ever gone inside. There's quite a chore to climb up that side of that building to get in.
Yeah, because
you wouldn't catch me in there.
Yeah, Rochelle was.
So how did you get that shot from inside the building there?
Andrew and John climbed in a window.
Yeah. There's only one window to get in, and it's about 15 feet up. You got to climb up pieces of rocks and bricks and stuff to get in.
They ended up on the roof.
And you got to jump in off to the side. That's what had me not do it, because again, with my back, gymnastics isn't gonna go. There's a big hole. Right where you go in the window, you look down and it's just a drop 3 floors. Yeah. You got to jump off to the right, and it's crazy. But they climbed in there, they got in there.
It's fascinating.
Kudos to them, and it looked awesome. Yeah, I mean, on location shoots are you know, kind of a big deal because the location could do half the work for you.
Well, let's talk about let's talk about down at the Hitchin line. Let's talk about that one. That looks like quite a big industrial site you were in on that one with the welding going on and all that.
I can't remember exactly what the construction company. It's the company Johnny works with, our drummer.
Okay. Fascinating. Looks great.
It's fantastic. We were in there. You didn't even get to see a lot of the place too. Like there's the yards full of dump trucks and it was super super cool. They're doing metal fabrication and
all those sparks flying. It's perfect.
Oh, it was great. No, it was.
So did you actually interrupt the workday? Those guys, it's a big business.
No,
I mean, there's a lot.
We went in on a Sunday. We went in on a Sunday.
So they had so some of those guys that were in there working, they were just there to work with just to make the background and make the sparks and stuff. Because it was really,
exactly.
it was really cool.
Yep, they
super cool.
Came in and went in, got the sparks going, and then after we did all that, after we did all our work, which was the inside shots with the band playing. Then we got to have fun by watching them shoot the other scenes with the trucks and all that stuff.
Johnny's in there tearing around in his truck. And,
yeah. So that was fun for me because all our work was done, and then it was just time to play, and they got to go play with the trucks. So
fantastic. Well, I think we should watch both those videos and we'll continue our conversation.
So you think you found God, and then all of the company of heaven is open to you. I say to you now, sand will cover this place. Sand will cover you. A little sweat, another bullet clip, a flash of red, can you guess who I'm playing? Righteous man, blood all over your hands, open your eyes and see.
Welcome back to the Atlantic Indie Roundabout with me, your host, Maurice O'Coin. We're back here in the Roundabout with Dali Van Gogh, and we're going to continue our conversation and where the band is headed today and plans moving forward. And I know you guys got a really interesting concept, and we're going to talk about your crowdfunding for your new album. Can you explain how this is going to work?
Yeah, well, so through the pandemic, I mean, again, we talked about, trying to keep busy and keep putting material out there. We managed to get the attention of Eric Ratz. Now, for anyone out there who's not familiar with that name, I'm sure you're familiar with the bands he's worked with, because the list goes on. It's pretty much every Juno winner in the last 10 years. The Arkells, Monster Truck, Big Wreck, Billy Talent. You know, the list goes on and on and on. We ended up, being able to do a single with them, which is our single. It's called Little Hell. It's coming out September 30th. I mentioned that earlier. And following his mixing of that single, because again, we couldn't go, like, he's based out of Toronto. We couldn't go up there and actually do a record. When we were working on this, maybe we could do it right now, but everything was shut down. There was no traveling. So we recorded it all out of my setup here at home, and then sent it off to him to mix. And it's pretty much as soon as he got the recordings, he was immediately like hounding us, like, listen, you got to come do an album. You got to find a way to get up here and do an album. And he's very excited about the prospect of working with us, and we're very excited about the prospect of working with him, especially hearing the single. Again, I'm not sure when you're airing this, Mo, but when the song comes out, it's really, like, I've thought up to this point, all of our stuff sound good. Like, I'm very proud of it. The recordings themselves have largely been self-produced. I've been mixing songs for a decade, worked with a lot of bands all over the world. Dude, I felt that when I heard his mix of us, I felt like a total amateur. I felt like I had no idea what I was doing. None.
Because you don't.
I guess. Well, compared to him, I mean, he's got 40 years
nothing.
or whatever it is. But
and he's got the Junos, he's got the Arkells, he's got the Big Rex, he's got all those guys, he's got a Grammy. So don't feel embarrassed by that. You should be proud for what you got done, but obviously, so a guy like that doesn't come cheap.
No. And we told he's
what do we do?
So we started crowdfunding. In the end, in order to do the full record, and this includes, expenses of living in Toronto for probably 2 months. We all got to eat. Got to get around town. We've got to pay our rent and all this kind of stuff. Everyone's going to have to take time off work. But we budgeted $75,000 for the album.
That sounds like a pretty reasonable budget, if you ask me. It's very good considering Eric gave us a rate of $6,500 a song or something like that. Something very close to that. That is a very good price. That's studio time and everything in. And considering the credentials of this guy, he's doing us a big favor because he believes in what we're doing, and wants to try and make the album happen. So, we very, very much appreciate that. So we get to that. We've got this mega opportunity, and we're at the end of the pandemic, and we haven't really gigged in months. So what do you do? And nobody has any money.
I'm making money.
Yeah. So we are crowdfunding to get things started. We're also going after grants and all that kind of thing. But we've got a crowdfunding, a GoFundMe page. It's at the top of our website, DaliVanGoghmusic.com. You won't be able to miss it. And we're looking for help from our fans. We've been lucky enough to have a lot of international success. We had singles chart in Europe. Our largest
South America
is
and the world got very small in the last few years.
It did.
Like I said, you have fans all over the world now, and they haven't seen you live yet.
Yeah. Other than potentially that live stream that we did with SSI. Which we were lucky enough, I think we got views from all over the place. So we're hoping to be able to tap into some of that goodwill that we've had, especially Brazil. I can't say enough about our fans down in Brazil. At one point, there was a cover band down there covering our stuff. They sent us videos. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I live for the day that we can get down there and tour.
How's the campaign going so far?
We just launched it. It just started literally at the time.
Do you have like a little thing on the side, like the little?
There's a bar.
A bar. Yes, that's right.
Yeah. We've raised. Between this and we did a fundraising show, we raised maybe 5% of what we need. So it's a very long road, and we're not under any illusions of it. Like, oh, suddenly we're going to have all the money. But we've all kind of resolved ourselves to get there.
You're also going to find, too, the farther along you go and the more that you raise, chances are you may not even be 100% there when you have to go to Toronto to do this.
Exactly.
But I think once the momentum gets going and your fans get excited, you might even have some corporate interest that you might be able to tap into?
Well, it's exactly what we're hoping for. Is we've got sponsorship kits that are going to be going out in the coming weeks. We're going after grants from everyone from Factor and Music Nova Scotia, SOCAN, Canadian Conservatory of the Arts. Because it's not a ludicrously large amount of money, but it's not money that we have just sitting around. And
here's what happens, and I think you guys are noticing it. We see it from our end, watching a band like you guys. In order to get the funding, in order to get the money, and have people willing to throw it at you or give it to you or support you or do your fundraising, you got to put the work in to do that. And they have to be. You don't get a loyal fan base without putting the work in. That's how you get a loyal fan base. That's why he wants to work with you. He's seen the work you put into your videos, to your craft, and that hard work translates. So no one wants to invest in somebody who just blows it out their arse, if you excuse my language. But where you guys have already did the work, the groundwork, you are somebody they can count on. Those are the people that will actually get the funding and will actually make it, and you'll have the support. And maybe you have the little thing on the back of your album thanking everybody that gave $20, whatever it takes. You guys are smart enough. You've been smart enough all along. You're obviously very good with your money. You're very, very, you're dedicated, and you probably have, your vision is there, and you know what you have to do, and you're all seem to be willing to make the sacrifice together as a band, and that is the secret ingredient to the success. You can ask Billy Talent, you can ask Monster Truck, you can ask all those guys, and they all did exactly what you guys are doing right now to get where they are. Yep. And you just don't get it by accident. Maybe some do. Maybe some do, but that's not something I'd be willing to take my chances or put my money on.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. I got to give kudos to Rochelle and to Johnny and Lance. It takes a team of us to kind of get this thing going, and to keep us going, despite the pandemic or house fires or band members coming and going, shows getting canceled. It's a hard industry to be in. And I've said this many, many times, and it's the reason we've had a little bit of people coming and going, is it's not for everybody. You've really got to love doing this, because it's a friggin' mountain of work. And it's a mountain of work that isn't just the playing. I spend more time every day sitting here in front of this computer, slogging away on emails and networking and talking to potential corporate sponsors and talking to marketing people and talking to, we should mention Eric Alper, our publicist, to make all of this kind of thing possible.
You guys obviously have some plans going forward. A lot of the plans that were canceled due to the pandemic, probably some of those plans are salvageable. Would you like to tell us about it?
Well, we're hoping that it still continues, but October 25th?
25, 26.
25th
right now.
and 26th.
Yeah.
We are opening up for Buck Cherry.
Yeah.
The first show on the 25th is here in Halifax. And on the 26th is we're playing in Moncton.
Yeah. This was originally supposed to be in May of 2020, and now we're heading up. It's going to be in October of 2021. And it's going to be right after we drop our new single, September 30th, putting out Little Hell with brand new music video. On top of that, don't forget to go out and look at The Testimony, which is this book that we're writing as a band that goes along with the latest releases and our upcoming album, because it's all sort of a loose concept record. And you can check out The Testimony at DaliVanGoghmusic.com. We release pages weekly, sometimes bi-weekly, but it's coming out in pieces along with the music videos. And it's got this whole post-apocalyptic storyline going on that people have really gravitated towards, especially when the pandemic hit. Well,
I guess on that note, a question that must be asked is, do you ever sleep?
Rarely. Once I decided, okay, this is what I want to do, I don't know any other way to do it other than to go all in.
There you go. That's a perfect way to describe it. It's been a pleasure talking with you guys today, and I would really like it if you guys could give us the drop on that single when it comes out.
Oh, most definitely.
And we'd love to have that.
You're on the list,
yeah,
for sure.
I'll be dropping that for you right away.
Yeah, there's going to be some people, you're on the list. Some people are going to get it a week early.
Yeah, right on.
So, Yeah. And thank you so much for having us.
Oh, no problem. This is fabulous. Yeah.
Yeah.
And once again, glad to have you in the roundabout. All the best. We can't wait to hear the new music. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Sometimes life ain't fair, truth so hard to see. Sometimes the love you want just ain't meant to be. When after saw your
hope you enjoyed this week's show on the Atlantic Indie Roundabout, and we hope to see you again next week. Until then, from our village to yours, take care and good night.